SVTWRC, here with a look at my current lease, the 2016 Fiesta ST. I've read and watched so much about this car, I was so excited when I actually got the chance to own one. Or at least rent it for like 3 years. Here's the Rally America car driven by Andrew Comrie Picard, and there's Nick Roberts' STI behind him. The panels are well positioned and the gaps in the bodywork are placed properly without any overlapping or mismatching. Ken Block was even seen in a video at the factory in Germany signing some of the rear bumper metal. So who knows? You may have his signature on your ST or your RS. The painted black wheels and red calipers are an option. The paint is a nice gray metallic flake. One downside is that it scratches way too easily. The interior is definitely a step up. But the door panels and some of the interior plastics are highly prone to scratching, and some repel them. The hard plastic is terrible, and the soft touch is amazing. It's a strange contrast. On the steering wheel, the material on the top is slippery and cheap feeling, but the leather wrap on the 10 and 2 positions are soft, and the size of the wheel is great for sport driving. Adjustability is excellent, and it tilts and telescopes. If you're at 6 feet tall, you're going to need the adjustability. While the Recaro seats hug and squeeze your internal organs on hard cornering, the seat position is ridiculously too high. So much even when fully lowered, leaving so much wasted space under the seat that taller drivers sit at an unacceptable height. The HVA system is very slow to react. The longest process it takes is when you're switching from cold to heat. I really do enjoy this. You have a max AC button and a max defrost button. There's only one transmission option. It's the Ford B6 6-speed. It's one of the easiest shifters to use. The way the clutch pedal's weighted is perfect for daily driving and even some heavy traffic situations. If you like to rev match and double clutch like I do, the throttle pedal wasn't on the same plane that the brake pedal was on, making those blips a little harder to do. I found this spacer on eBay and you could even construct these yourself. After this, it helped out a lot and it made driving the car more enjoyable. With a tall driver, you really can't put anyone in the back seat. I just keep my crap back there. The hatch is the same way. You have limited space, but you do have that 60-40 split. Now, as far as driveline and suspension upgrades go, as well as engine upgrades, because it's a lease, it's going to be bolt-ons only. Anything that I can remove and sell afterwards. As far as modification parts go, you can do intercoolers, intakes and exhausts, and of course you can get tunes. I would stick with anything mount tune and or Cobb. They do the best work, I believe. And mount tune, if you do want to have a warranty kept, if you own your ST, a good way to keep warranty and have some performance parts put on, have Ford install your mount tune parts, and you will retain your factory warranty. Of course, you can go big turbo and E85 as well, but you can waive your warranty bye-bye at that point. One well-known issue is the amount of play in the engine from the stock mount, so I put in Mount Tune's roll resistor. Moving on to the rear suspension, you might notice that there's no sway bar. It's not a multi-link independent rear suspension, it is a twist beam. Even when paired with these optional Pilot Sport all seasons, the twist beam allows the front wheel drive car to oversteer. But this car is incredible because you can really get it to drift out and you can corral it back in. And engine-wise, it still uses a prop rod and it has this really silly cover, but at least you can get to the oil. Only real thing I've had with the engine was tightening some hose clamps so far, but really everything's been pretty good. I did change some of this vacuum hosing that comes off the intake for the 2016 model. Just be wary of that. The path to the intake is really short, so you may hear some turbo noises through the intake. Now this does have a sound symposer, which is a tube that comes from the intake. So it sounds good, but here, you be the judge. See, it makes it louder in the cabin. It makes the induction noise louder. The exhaust could definitely be a little louder. It's a little numb. You hear more engine noise than anything. The good thing is, this isn't a sound actor. It doesn't come through the speakers. It's coming through a tube in the firewall that's connected to the cold side charge pipe for the intercooler. You figure with the RS being such an amazing sounding exhaust, you think that these STs would have a little something extra. I mean, they do compared to the regular Fiesta, don't get me wrong. Driving it around town, the way the clutch pedal's weighted and the way the shifter is so easy, you can get stuck in some heavy traffic and this thing isn't gonna kill you. Power is limited in first and second gear. For third, you get full boost up onto sixth gear. You really shouldn't use sixth gear to boost. That's just that low speed pre-ignition. Never go wide open throttle until the RPMs reach 4,000. Loading the car up, asking for full boost in sixth gear at 2,000 RPM. That's when you might see a problem. And it could be a problem in this car because you do shift it a lot. So I can't wait for this winter. Really gonna take this into a parking lot somewhere and mess with this electronic stability control. There is only one sway bar and it's a 19mm up front. It's a bumpy ride suspension wise, but they have found a middle ground between sport and comfort. The stiffness of the suspension helps out because you can feel the road, even with the electric steering, which is a little disconnected. The steering is super sharp and it's really precise due to shortened steering arms. The handling in this car is really unique. A lot of people hate on this car and I just think they don't know how to drive it. This car takes some finesse to drive. This isn't a car you get in and you can just floor the thing and go. Being front wheel drive, it's going to spin and it's going to torque steer on you a little bit. Now, Ford's figured out with the torque vectoring and everything, but it's a tricky car to drive to really get speed out of. This car, if you just got on it and just floored it, like I said, see, it's not just gonna go in a straight line for you. And if you don't know how to handle that, you might get yourself into a little bit of problem. But the thing about this car is amazing is the handling is so neutral. In the corner is barely any body roll. Now the Advanced Track electronic stability control has 3 modes. One is sport. Just press it once and it'll go into sport mode. Sport mode alters the traction control and electronic stability control to allow more vehicle slip, but the torque vectoring is still there. Now when you press and hold ESC for 5 seconds, a bar will appear and everything is off. This is track use only or when you really want to have fun. Vectoring is different. That breaks the inside wheel to get better control and less understeer. That's on all the time and does not slow the speed of the car. 2,742 pounds is what this thing weighs. 197 horsepower and 202 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's on 93 octane. If you use 87, which you can get away with it in this car, it's not going to knock like crazy, but you will not get those horsepower and torque numbers. Now you compare those numbers to my old SVT Focus, which had 170 horsepower and 145 foot-pounds of torque. I drove this car in 2.5 years of SCCA autocross and did some track days and some HPDE with it too. The Fiesta is definitely the car USA has been waiting for. They've gotten these over in Europe, and now we finally get to drive these, and they are impressive.